Schwab Network. Sam Vadas is with us. And how about ASML announcing a $1.53 billion investment in Mistral?
Yes, this is two European tech giants really teaming up now, and it's fascinating, Nicole. Good morning to you. What we're seeing playing out here in the US, also over in China, and then also in Europe. So Mistral AI is an NVIDIA-backed company, one of Europe's most well-known AI developers. It's a French company. It's been around for about 2 years. And then obviously ASML being one of the biggest tech players over in Europe as well, a Dutch company. It is behind the equipment that makes the chips. Now, obviously, this is a company that we know does supply to some of the biggest names in the tech world. This is obviously equipment that China has wanted to get its hands on as well. But what this story is about is ASML pouring, as Nicole said there, about $1.5 billion into Mistral for 11% stake. What's interesting here is that values Mistral at about $14 billion, which is more than double its valuation from last year. So this is part of a Series C funding round. Mistral is seen as a European rival, as I mentioned, to OpenAI and DeepSeek. It builds LLMs, which fuels those chatbots. Remembering that OpenAI, I was just actually talking about this on a social media post yesterday, does now expect to burn through from now until 2029 about $115 billion. So that company valuation about $500 billion. So that's nearly 36 times of that of Mistral. But why this is significant? Well, there are very much views out there that this lessens Mistral's reliance on Silicon Valley as Europe is trying to build up its own tech autonomy and self-reliance here in the face of some of the geopolitical pressures as well that allows it to be very much more independent. Just like China, Europe is also putting the emphasis very much on this self-sufficiency push as well. So as far as an investment point of view, it does provide alternatives to that of the US and China. So as far as the reaction today, as far as ASML shares are concerned, just seeing some marginal gains there off the back of this. What does ASML get out of it? That's perhaps going to speak to the reason why we're seeing this reaction today. Well, according to media reports, I think this has been summarized really nicely. It will partner with the company to use Mistral's AI models in research, operations and product. It also will take part in its strategic committee as well. And it's an attractive partner, according to ASML, because of the fact that it is helping business customize AI for their own use as well. So they have worked together for a few months, according to the company, and they have found that they are extremely compatible. But I think, Nicole, what this really tells us is just, the eye-watering, eye-popping, astronomical amount of, financing demand that is needed right now to scale this kind of stuff. You've just got companies partnering up left, right, and center and just throwing these huge numbers out there.
And it doubles the valuation with the ASML investment. This is a big deal, and it has all the buzzwords in it, right?
Yes.
Semiconductor, AI innovation. It seems like a likely tie-up. I don't think people are really saying they don't have symmetry. It's probably a good one.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I mean as far as what the ASML commentary was sort of getting at, was that they believe that they are compatible as far as, what ASML is likely to get out of this as well, because this is an attractive partner as far as they're concerned, because it does very much help focus on businesses customizing AI for their own use. And so, no doubt ASML sees value here, but I think this is also an interesting story as far as, investment theme is concerned, as to what we're seeing as far as the US and China, but Europe also becoming an alternative here as far as Mistral being seen really as a European rival to the OpenAIs and DeepSeeks of the world, which we know are also competing in this space too.
All right, so that deal, $1.53 billion, 1.3 billion in euros. So we're set there with an 11% stake. How about we talk about what's going on with Fox News and the Murdoch family, the Lachlans and such?
Yes, obviously this has been a years-long battle, a lot of tension over what is going to be the future of this media giant. This almost seems like it's a bit of the finale. You can understand why the drama stemming from this battle as far as this family empire is concerned has inspired the television drama, Nicole. So the Murdoch family has finally reached a deal over the family media empire. The Rupert Murdoch's son, Lachlan, will now take control of the news company. Obviously includes Fox News and the Wall Street Journal. well. But as I said, this ends a years-long worth of tension over who will control the company. And Lachlan is really seen as the chip off the old block, as he's sort of more politically conservative. The family will create a separate trust for Rupert's children, James, Elizabeth and Prudence. They will give up their personal holdings for over a period of 6 months, so they will stop being beneficiaries of any trust with shares in Fox or News Corp, etc. They will not have any influence over the company, but they will get their inheritance, so that's the payoff there. But they will be beneficiaries of a new trust from the sale of shares in Fox and News Corp at $1.1 billion each. Now, why this is important and why it's certainly significant is, very much as far as, the public sees it, as well as investors, is, the future direction of the company. And, I've been looking at media reports, and, Bloomberg was out with a really good piece about this, about how, Fox News obviously considered one of the crown jewels of this media empire. And under Lachlan's direction, Fox has launched a new streaming service. It's been doing quite well, particularly when you look at Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery, but also with regards to what it's been doing in the online real estate business in Australia. It's managed to thrive, in their words, according to this report, amid a migration to digital advertising as well. So you can just see where the ship is being steered right now as far as the future direction of this media empire.
And this morning, Fox shares are trading lower, down about 6%, but announcing the pricing of a secondary offering. Not surprised to see that this morning as all the news is pouring out. But it has been an incredible performer, Fox A, 1 year, 45% or so.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean, shares under pressure today, but I mean, obviously this is as I said, years-long saga that many have been following as far as, this family tension is concerned. I mean, you've also got News Corp, as I said, under pressure today, along with Fox too. I mean, that's been underperforming, but still up about 6% or so year to date as well. I mean, it's a tough business, obviously, we know.
And especially when it comes to family. But Lachlan and James always used to walk around the office, and Lachlan now, obviously, the leader of the whole empire. Let's get to Lululemon, which has been under pressure and now a downgrade.
Yes, that's coming from the folks over at Keybanc this morning, Nicole. So looking at downgrading Lululemon to sector weight from overweight without a price target now. Coming off the back, remembering of the disappointing mixed report we got last week. They do say, the folks over at Keybanc, that the company's fiscal Q2 earnings report was mixed, with revenue falling short of expectations and US growth turning negative for the first time in several years. So that seems to be what's behind the move here. The firm says that really drove the 2025 earnings guidance cut and several actions to course correct the business over the coming quarters. So they see the value in the stock longer term, but believes the lack of positive catalysts over the coming quarters, execution concerns in the US, and a, quote, highly competitive athletic wear marketplace ultimately outweigh that, warranting this downgrade that we've heard today. Interestingly, because I was speaking to Dave Schwartz about this over at Morningstar last week off the back of what had been a bit of a disappointing report card, particularly because of the hit they're likely to get from tariffs, obviously with respect to the US consumer as well. He does still see a comeback because they have zero debt, high cash flow, opportunities for stock buybacks given the pullback that we've seen in the shares. He's still confident in the company. It perhaps speaks, Nicole, to what we're hearing from the folks over at Keybanc, that, at least in the longer term, things could be better. They do see value, but for now things look a bit rocky, and that is exactly what Dave Schwartz was sort of telling me, that they still see this as a strong operator. It's a strong CEO who is forthright in his commentary. They don't think people have necessarily turned on Lulu, but they are very much going through a difficult period, but he still sees this as undervalued, and it's still a good company and sees this as a buying opportunity right now given the pullback. But yes, shares under pressure today off the back of this downgrade.
Yeah, and how much will people spend? And a lot of the retailers have been under pressure. Sam Vadas, great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good coverage there of a few names, ASML and Fox and Lulu. Sam, thank you.